Hello and welcome to Nonny, Yanga's flagship talk show where we discuss all the hot topics. Today we take a look at current trends in black hair, focusing on the rise of the natural hair movement as well as a growth in women wearing wigs. We'll also discuss the taboo surrounding black hair, including the uproar when Lupita Nyong'o's afro was edited out of a magazine cover. Joining me today, broadcaster Funmi Agunja and renowned stylist and owner of Decutta, Derek Clement. Welcome. Nice to see you guys.
Nice.
Now, the black hair market is more lucrative than ever. The industry has been valued at more than $2.5 billion in America alone. Yet, surprisingly, sales in relaxer, which was once a staple product in every hair salon, has fallen dramatically by 37% over recent years. Alongside this, there's a number of women who are advocates of the natural hair movement. Are black women becoming more cautious about the chemicals they're applying to their hair? When's the last time you relaxed your hair, for me?
9 years in February.
Wow. Well, you even know the month.
The reason I know is because I stopped relaxing when I obviously got pregnant.
Okay.
They tell you you're not supposed to relax, dye your hair. So I had to just stop immediately once I found out. And I didn't feel like I needed to start relaxing my hair after my child was born. So it's been 9 years. I've been natural under this wig.
Oh, it's a wig.
It's a wig.
Shock horror. Derek, you've been in this industry for time. You may look young, but no, I'm joking.
Wonderful.
But have you seen, though, that relaxing has stopped, or, you know, people have kind of reduced using it, and why?
I think there has been a decline in relaxer usage. I think as women are becoming much more aware of the side effects of relaxers and what it can do. And I think historically, well, we've heard things like relaxer breaks your hair, obviously it burns your hair as well. So,
But remember that front of the hair, boy. Hey!
so many years of discomfort and breakage certainly has caused a massive increase in the naturalista movement.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I think I read a couple of months ago, I don't know where, but they were saying that, yes, we do know that there are chemicals in relaxer, but even black hair care products have so many chemicals and things that we're just unaware of. Do you think, for me, that black women are becoming a little bit more cautious? And whether it's just even relaxer, they're looking at the back of the box. They want to know what's going on in their hair. They want their stylist to tell them what they're doing.
Yeah, and I think over the years, people have started to see. I mean, if you've been relaxing your hair for over 5 years, you're going to start to see how weak your hair has become. And then you're going to start to look at every single thing you put in your hair. And it's not just relaxer, it's dye. It's some of these gels and these grease. It's not natural, they're chemicals. So obviously they're going to have bad effect on your hair over time. So I think, yeah, we're just becoming more and more aware of what we put in our heads.
How has the woman changed that comes into your salon now, Derek? What is she looking for? What is she after? How have black women changed in their kind of appearance and how they want their hair to look?
There's a big term called the big chop. Everyone wants a big chop. Every other client now comes in for the big chop. So I think
is that after a breakup?
You've had the transition from obviously relaxed hair to the natural movement. So I think at least 90% of my clientele are now asking for natural hairstyles. But hold on, let's not bash relaxers.
Yeah.
Relaxers
Okay.
supposed to be done by a professional.
Yes.
If it's
yes.
done correctly.
Not mummy in a bad
That's
mood.
right. If it's done correctly, it's perfectly fine.
Really?
But,
Why'd you say that?
Well, I think everything else has chemicals. Everything else has side effects. So it's interesting. People say to me, oh, relaxer's got so much chemicals and there's so many side effects, but so is coffee, so is whatever. You know what I'm saying? Everything, so is whatever, you know, soft drinks. So I think it's all about, it should be done professionally.
Do you worry if a woman comes in and she's like, I want to relax my hair, and she's got a big afro, are you the kind of stylist that will be like, why, sit down, let me tell you not to? Is it just like, okay, boy, take the check, but scared of the burn-in? You know, every salon is scared of the burn-in.
I am pro natural hair.
Okay.
So I tend to favor the natural hairstyle and go for a good haircut as opposed to the relaxer. Because I think the relaxer will ultimately break the hair off. So, you know, I do understand the implications, but I do prefer to see a good head of natural hair.
A good head of natural hair.
I mean, my 3 daughters has natural hair.
Wow.
You know, my 3, I'll never relax their hair, ever, you know.
Good. I was going to say, for me, we're kind of the same age. Why do you think we started relaxing our hair? What was it? Because I would say for some parents it was easier. You relax the hair, you can put it in a hairband. But some of us were using braids, but then relaxing kind of took over. And as you said, all the gels, and remember you kind of had that S-curl and all of at that.
Exactly.
With the toothbrush.
Now that I think about it, I feel like I started relaxing my hair too young, and I need to have a conversation with my mum about that. But I felt like she did it for manageability. Like in my family, we all have thick, I don't want to say nappy, but
We'll go into that
yeah,
after.
I don't want to say nappy, but I had thick Afro kinky hair, and it was painful to just put it into would be painful. So whenever we used to do it like maybe every month. Every month she'll pull out the relaxer, and it wouldn't just be for the look, but it would just be for me to be able to comb my hair because it was just too much hair. So that's why I started. And back then there wasn't other techniques to kind of like manage your hair, and I feel like now there is more techniques. There's more.
Oh God, we're so innovative now, aren't we? Even with social media and YouTube, some of us are always going to rely on people like Derek, but people can do it yourself. But I suppose with relaxer, as what you were saying, Derek, you do have to be careful, and you do have to rely on a professional. What kind of woman is still relaxing her hair? If you was to describe her, who is she?
I think the older, like your mom's generation, I think the older women still continue to relax their hair. And of course, there's those who work for the corporate environment. They tend to think that the natural hairstyles doesn't comply to the, the corporate environment. So they tend to still continue to relax their hair. But there's nothing wrong with relaxers. Again, as I said, I'm a hairdresser. I do all types of hairstyles. So I think we need not bash the relaxer. But I do, as I said, I do appreciate the natural movement, and I'm there for the natural movement.
The natural movement is of course really important, and I don't want to go too much into wigs, but even though for me we're not relaxing our hair, we are still trying to get that same straight look.
But you could say that, but then again it's still manageability. It's easier to rock a wig, and I can be blonde tomorrow, I can be purple on Friday.
I like you blonde.
Exactly, and it's like you don't want to put all that dye in your hair, you don't want to have to tong your hair, you don't have to just do so much to your hair. My hair is underneath, it's protected, I believe. It's in cane rows, it's natural, and I get to wash it every week, I get to condition every week, and it's protected.
Do you know what, you talk about manageability, does it annoy you, Derek, when women, and I agree with Funmi, by the way, and Funmi's hair is always slayed and laid, I'm jealous.
Well, she looks fantastic.
Gosh, Derek, you should have sorted me out, this is flat today. But do you kind of do you get frustrated with black women that say they can't manage their natural hair?
No, absolutely not.
You understand it?
I think a weave or a wig is a good accessory. Every woman should have at least
as an accessory.
As an accessory. It shouldn't be the be all and end all, but it should be an accessory. So
do you agree with that for me? Because are you finding now that wig is a staple, boy? You know, before it's like you would have one wig, that one bra. But now it's kind of like you've got so many for every occasion.
I like the way you say accessory because it's like I could wear an outfit and I'm thinking I don't feel like a long hairstyle. I feel like I should put my bob wig on, or I feel like I should get my 40 inches out. So it's an accessory if you think about it. It is.
I think the key thing is to ensure that whilst you're wearing your weave or your wig, to ensure your natural hair gets all the treatment, all the love, all the conditioning.
I can see you put a lot of love in that natural hair, boy. Still to come, we will continue this discussion on the natural hair movement, and we explore the so-called taboos. See you after the break. Welcome back to Nonny. Now, relaxer sales may have fallen over the years, but for many black women, the desire for straight hair still remains. Wigs now dominate the black beauty market. Is this a letdown to women who are natural hair advocates? Now, Derek, I took your point before the break. You were saying that, haven't got a problem with wigs, it should be an accessory, but for many it's not. Like, I can see girls now going to school, all blue, all yellow, whatever, and they've got really long wigs, and they're wearing it again and again. And for me, yes, you did say if you're, a well looked after girl like you, you do protect your hair underneath, but some women are literally going from wig to wig to wig, their hair's breaking underneath because they're pulling on the cane rows. Right. Do you think there can be a problem and an issue with women solely being reliant on wigs?
I definitely think so. I think you should at least focus on your natural hair. Your natural hair is meant to protect your scalp and protect you as a result. So why is now the weave or the wig protecting your natural hair? It doesn't make sense. It's contradictory. But at the end of the day, it's important, if you're going to wear a weave or your wig, look after your natural hair.
This reliant on wigs, you were just describing, you know,
Yeah.
if you've got a cocktail dress, it might be the short bob. Depending who you're seeing, you might be blonde for me. Do you sometimes feel ugly without your wig?
I wouldn't use the word ugly because let me not lie to you. As soon as I step into my house, as soon as I step into the wig comes off.
For me, it's the cowboy. Hey,
The wig comes off.
That's the idea.
Naturally,
Yeah, that
I'm
is
walking
the idea.
around my house with my braids. So, and you know,
Right.
my partner,
Sure.
he appreciates me without my
Sure,
wig.
sure.
So, you know, I don't feel ugly. I do feel a bit plain, and that's because I wouldn't go as far as saying I'm dependent on my wig, but I'm just used to it. Do you know, I've been rocking wigs since I've lost count of how many years, but
Wow.
you know, I'm used to looking this way, and I have nothing against people who rock their hair naturally or wear their hair naturally, but it's just not me. It's just not me.
do you think, Derek, that black women wearing wigs is, I wouldn't say reverse, but cultural appropriation? You know, kind of trying to look like a certain lady when our hair is not
Right,
like
right,
that, trying
yeah.
to fit it in certain places when we should be happy and comfortable within
Right.
ourselves.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. I've heard the term self-hate, and I've heard
Self-hate.
the term self-hate. So I think the natural sisters are the reverse of that. It's like self-love, isn't
Yes,
it?
yes.
So because she's self-loving, then she doesn't mind expressing herself. But I do appreciate your point regarding flexibility, diversity, and also the idea that you look different. You feel
Yeah.
different when you have your weave or your wig.
But when is the last time you've rocked your natural hair? And I don't mean in a Snapchat,
Yeah,
like, look at it, I
Every
just
day.
took it out. I'm talking about where you're actually out. And would you be prepared to take off your wig now?
No, I wouldn't. But I can't remember the last time I rocked my natural hair. I don't.
Yeah.
I must have been a teenager, and that's and it
wow.
concerns me because I.
What
see-
about going to the hairdresser? Wait, you have
I do all
gone.
my hair myself.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't
so
know.
you've not stepped out of your house
To go to the hairdresser in years.
with your natural hair.
No.
Wow.
No. But it concerns me because when I was in school, I used to do natural hair. I used to rock my natural hair. And then now I look at teenagers, they're rocking wigs in secondary school. And that concerns me because I feel like it's something, you know, you should, it's for manageability. It's not, it shouldn't be for like, you know, that's where I feel
It's
like.
your choice, isn't
Yeah.
it? And
Choice.
I don't
Choice.
think sisters should bash themselves. Every
Okay.
other group wear weaves
Yes.
and extensions.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
do extensions, a lot of white girls.
No, that's true.
So it's not just a
Exactly.
black thing.
Does the industry, Derek, kind of have a backlash against wigs? Because like Fumi said, you know, Fumi is a journalist. You know,
Sure,
she works in
sure.
TV, but
Right.
she does her own wigs. A lot of young girls now, they're making their own wigs.
It's a big
Most of the time they're going to the hairdresser.
That's
and I know
right.
yours is kind of a luxury salon.
Yeah.
But most salons now, it's Kane Rose and Wash, please.
That's
No
right,
more are they going in for like anything that's more than £30, £40. They're losing out on money. Can you understand why there is a backlash against wigs?
I don't know, but we are lucky to have all the, what I call black. It's called black. That's my acronym.
Yeah.
So we do braids, we do locks, we do afros, and in the mix there's weaves.
Yeah.
Right? We do curls and we do kinks. and we do straightens.
Who's using a weave? Because why? If there's a wig, why would you even have a weave? Is it mixed race girls that have hair in the front?
I think wigs have morphed into weaves.
Yeah.
Because you've got
Wow.
the lace front. You've got the
Okay.
lace front. So
Yeah.
wigs are now, I think a wig is like an advanced version of a weave.
Yes.
You know
yes.
what I'm saying? Yeah.
Where next? Give us some tips. Where is the industry going next? Because we've had lace front, we've had closure.
Remember, I just said, right, we've had, it's all trending. It's all
Yeah,
trends.
yeah.
At the moment, I think the natural thing is a trend.
Yes.
Another few years, it might be back to the relaxer, perhaps back to the perm, and back to weave. So I think it's, you know, it's trending at the
Yeah.
moment.
Lupita Nyong'o, 12-year-old schoolboy Chikazi Flanders are both from different worlds yet faced the same issue at school and at work with their hairstyles. Chikazi was told he would face suspension if he didn't cut off his dreads, and Lupita's afro was given the chop from the front cover of Grazia magazine. Why has natural black hair become so politicised, Derek?
It's a shame, actually. It's nothing new. In the 1800s, a law was passed to prevent black women from wearing their natural hair. So I think the natural hair provokes, and sometimes people say it's radical. It's revolutionary. And so this law was passed. The law was called Tiggan Law in the 1800s because these black women were looking so beautiful that the white counterparts
Hey, history lesson, boy.
Were challenged by these
Yeah.
gorgeous hairstyles. And the law was passed, check it out, Tiggan Law, in the 1800s in the States.
So this is something that's been going on
It's
time
nothing new.
and
It's nothing
time.
new.
You talk about radicalization. Why? That's deep.
Yeah.
The fact that you can have a hairstyle like dreadlocks, a good boy. This Chikese guy they said he was a decent boy. He wasn't,
Sure.
somebody that was truanting or naughty.
Right.
He just had dreads that the school deemed just didn't look right. Grantia magazine, I'm sure you know the story,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they just digitally removed the afro behind Lupita's hair.
Right.
What is it about the natural hair that just causes this outrage?
Firstly, it's very offensive.
Yeah.
Especially for that young boy who has dreads. Like, sometimes dreads grow naturally. Like, my son, he grows into dreads naturally. And I would be appalled if his school ever told me that
Absolutely.
I'd have to cut off his hair. Like, it's who he is. It's the same as the colour of your skin. It's who you are. So, yeah, it's very, very deep, and it's very offensive.
I mean, your hair is perhaps the best expression.
Your identity.
It's your best accessory, isn't it? Your hair is your best accessory. And so a black child with a gorgeous hairstyle, be it locks or be it afro, it's seen as defiant.
Why?
Okay,
I
well,
think the stereotypes, okay, let's say dreads now. The stereotypes that come with dreads, it's sad, but people
What are
associ-
some of the stereotypes associated with dreadlocks?
I
This
feel-
this isn't your opinion.
Yeah,
this
I
is
feel
what you've.
uncomfortable even saying it.
We're on
but-
Nonny. This is the kind of discussion
yeah,
we should
but,
have. We're
you
free and
know,
open.
people that have dreads, they might associate them just with
Weed, marijuana,
yeah,
crime.
It's a sad shame, but yeah. That's,
Do you think that's still the case, Derek, with dreadlocks?
I do. As I said, I mean, your hair is your best accessory, and if you're a confident black person, a black man or black woman, what's best but to project your defiance, or if you like, your sense of well-being, and I think your hair sometimes could offend people.
It's so funny because if you Google kind of black, well, not even black, unprofessional hair, the
Yeah.
styles that come up, it's not that kind of neat afro, the Jackson 5, which you just told us was a wig, you said it. But it's kind of nappy hair, and again, that's a word I hate.
Yeah.
French Montana, he came under so much controversy because he was a woman was trolling him on Twitter,
Yeah.
and he said, "You've got nappy hair," and they were like, "How dare you? That's racist." Blah blah blah. You know, Black America Twitter
Yeah,
boys,
absolutely.
don't mess with them. But do you think it is unprofessional? Like you now, for me, your hair looks amazing.
Sure.
It's your hair, you own it, but that's not your hair.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why you're wearing that hair, and is it to look more desirable?
No, because I just feel like this sort of look looks better on me compared to braids. And I've done braids,
Sure,
and
sure.
I haven't been comfortable
Is
with
braids natural?
Is,
Yes,
yeah,
Is it in the natural bracket?
Of course it is.
Okay.
But here, as I said, black women have the choice. They
Yeah.
can wear any assortments of hairstyles.
But do we have a choice, Derek? If we're sending our kids to school in dreads, and like Chikese, they're saying that he'll be suspended.
Good question. Again, as I said, Chikese must have been a very confident young man, and it must have offended some people. Hence the reason why they took that step. Sadly, it didn't work. He won the case.
Do you kind of feel sometimes, for me, that women that do have an afro, let's say you went to an event, your partner's introducing you to his sisters, and his sisters have got locks
Yeah.
or an afro, not the MJ afro, because not every afro looks like that boy.
Yeah.
But would you judge that kind of woman? Would you say that
Absolutely
woman
not.
is pretty radical?
Absolutely not. Just because I don't wear it doesn't mean I don't love to see it. I love the natural hair movement. I love when I see teenagers
The next
rocking
time you're
braids.
on Nonny, I want I want to see your natural hair. If you do it, I'll
Okay.
do it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
never going to
We'll
happen,
see,
is it?
We'll see what Derek can
Is
do.
is it because you can't find a decent hairdresser to style your natural
Maybe.
hair?
I just don't feel like it looks good on me.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
whole braids.
Let's give
and
it a try,
afro.
shall we?
I'll try
Let's
it.
give it a
Yeah,
try.
let's give it a try.
I'm
just
now
don't.
convinced. I need to see your
No,
natural hair.
I would be willing to give it a
Yeah.
try because the thing is, maybe we have been conditioned
Yeah.
Right.
to
Maybe,
think
and
that
we
this
don't
hair
even
looks
realise
good.
it.
Do you- I have a lot of wigs, and there have been so many styles, as you
Sure.
say, Derek, trends throughout the years,
Right.
ombre,
Yeah.
different
Right,
things,
right,
even
right.
having a nice blonde. But I would think, like when I worked in the city, that I dare not take
Sure,
that wig
sure,
in.
sure,
I dare not have that style. Why? Because I'll feel like somebody's judging me. So maybe we have been
Yeah,
conditioned.
yeah.
a certain age group
Yeah.
to think that wig is the only acceptable
So
option.
it's your perception then. So is it your
Yeah.
perception?
Maybe, tell us, Derek.
My cousin who works for corporate England, HR, for months, for years, she says, "I can't go to work with this. I don't think my boss would love it. I don't think. I think it's the sisters who are perpetuating
Yeah.
this,
Yes.
this
Yeah.
foolish trauma on themselves.
Really?
However, so she got rid of the relaxer a couple of months ago. Her boss says, "Oh my God, your hair looks so fantastic."
Exactly.
Whereas so she kept telling herself that it doesn't look right for the workplace. So is it the women who are saying it doesn't look right for the workplace, or is it the workplace themselves?
But I think it's both. But then, of course, it must be the workplace if Lupita Nyong'o's afro
Right.
was chopped off. It was only a tiny little bit behind her that showed the
So
afro.
my problem with
But
this
there was
is-
something about it that they said doesn't
Right.
mean anything.
So I think with the supermodels, actors, actresses, they need to get black hairdressers to do their hair, not people who can't do their hair. That's the problem.
Do you think that could be a...
In many cases, it's who's attributed to the stylist,
Yeah.
or sorry, to the star. I don't think enough black hairdressers get a chance to do some black celebrities.
Do you know, I think we need an appointment at Derek's salon. Maybe we'll save that look for next season, why? Not yet.
Tell you what, though, I'm determined to do your hair.
Yeah, that's a date.
Definitely.
That's a date. That's it from me, Juliana Olayinka, and my fantastic guests, Fumi Ogunja and Derek Clement. Don't forget, guys, Noni's now online, so wherever you are in the world, go to www.yangatv.com to check out every single episode, including this one. Join me next time for more Noni Chat. Goodbye.